Hi guys, and welcome to the next video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about an experience I had in Zhengzhou, China in, I believe it was 2015 or 16. Those years, I know I mentioned 2015, 16. I did quite a lot before I left the first time, so sorry about that. Bear with me when I say that. And this is, I'll call the Tower Grandpa incident or experience. I had gone to Zhengzhou, like many of the other trips I had taken, for a few days just to kind of see the city, check out the museum, check out the local sites, and just get a feel for a different place in China. And also Zhengzhou was a good central point to go to a bunch of different places. So on the last, I think it was the last day, right before I had to go to the airport. I always traveled light, so I had a backpack with my camera gear and another kind of separate duffel bag with whatever clothes. I always pack super light, so I'd carry it around with me, maybe leave it at a locker if there was one nearby, so that I could still enjoy a little bit sightseeing on the last half day or part day before I had to go to the airport. So this was the case. And I recall going to the Zhengzhou Tower because I wanted to go to one of the, a good place to get a nice point of view of the city. And in China, there's quite a few what they call TV towers. They look, if you've ever seen the TV show The Jetsons, it reminds me of that, or the Space Needle in Seattle, where it's this really tall structure, and at the very top is this kind of saucer-shaped viewing platform area that's enclosed. And they'll usually have, souvenirs and snacks that you can get, and maybe a little bit of information as far as if you're looking in this direction, this is this building. If you're looking in this direction, these are these structures and whatnot. Well, as I said, this was the last morning of the trip before I was taking a plane out. When I had gotten there, in the days before in Zhengzhou, I got a little bit sick. And it's what I call air pollution sickness, where if I don't wear a mask when the PMI is, let's say, above 100, and do this for hours on end, I'll get sick. I'll get these fever-like symptoms, body aches, maybe some chills, weakness, maybe cough a little bit, maybe throat will get kind of dry and not be comfortable. It's a horrible experience. This is also why I started wearing N95 masks whenever I would go outside above 100 PMI to reduce those symptoms. Unfortunately, I didn't do it when I was in Zhengzhou and traveling to places near there. So, felt like crap. But I forced myself because I'm on vacation. I have to go here and I have to enjoy it. So, got out there, and I remember went up to the tower, and exhaustion was starting to hit me. So sat down at a bench inside the tower just to rest up a bit. I think I had something to drink too, to just kind of hydrate me and make me feel a little better. But I just sat down because I needed a few minutes just to relax. Just breathe and build up my energy again. And sitting at this bench, I could look over my shoulder or look around, and I could see out into the city. So I figured, let me rest up, take some pictures, walk around, and when it's time, I'll head out. Anyway, at a certain point, I see this young local kid, and I see the kid just kind of was being accompanied by an older Chinese gentleman, probably her grandfather or very old dad. And I see that she kind of, they're walking together, and then she makes a beeline to where I'm at. And I see the older gentleman. I'm thinking, I guess, I should give this guy the bench. He's probably tired, and, got to respect your elders and all that. And this girl's running here, so they're probably going to sit down and relax. So let me do the right thing and get up and move. So I motioned to get up, grab my bag, motion to get up. I was maybe 3/4 of the way up. And like in another story that I had previously mentioned, that happened to me in Tokyo, Japan. This older gentleman grabs me by the wrist, very firmly, and and it kind of motions for me to wait, not to move. But just the initial feel of somebody invading my space without prefacing it and grabbing me, especially, and the fact that I was not feeling well and kind of in a somewhat foul mood because of the weather, and that I was under the weather. Yanked my hand out again instinctively and yelled no, and just walked away. In retrospect, I understand what he was doing because I overheard part of what he said to the little girl. He says, "Oh no, he doesn't want." So I doubt very much it was a scam. I think what was going on is he and his grandchild probably haven't seen too many foreigners, and they thought, "Oh wow, cool, a foreigner." So the little girl, either her grandfather told her or she decided on her own, "Oh, I want to sit next to this foreigner," and the grandfather was probably going to take a picture of us together to say, "Hey, look, we saw an expat or foreign face, in our city," and that would have been it. Now, if he had said anything prior to that, I may have considered sitting down, but it's something that, as an expat, you kind of used to being different and exotic, but you don't necessarily want all the attention that comes with that. Similarly, for a lot of Asians that live here, I'll be honest, before going to China and Japan and traveling across Asia, if I ever saw an Asian person in the US, I would be pleasantly surprised. I'm like, "Oh wow, look, cool." Or anybody that looked exotic. I always thought it was cool, the diversity that we had, and whenever I saw someone who was very different than most people, I would get excited, and I would think it's a big plus and a positive, and I still do to a certain extent, but not, I guess, as much as I used to when I was younger, because I've been to Asia, so I've seen a lot of exotic faces in my time. So, to the grandfather and the grandkid, sorry, didn't mean to snap, but at the same time, you shouldn't have done what you did. That was not cool. Even by Chinese standards, Chinese people don't go around grabbing each other to force pictures of another person. So it was uncomfortable, I imagine, for both of us. Anyway, that is my Zhengzhou Tower grandpa experience. See you in the next video.